Literature and Art of Cinema, an experimental workshop at the Silent River Film Festival. Hi everyone, my name is Kalpana Singh Chitnis. I am the founder and director of the Silent River Film Festival. But before that, I am a poet, writer, actor, and a filmmaker. Since the birth of the Silent River Film Festival in 2011, I had the opportunity to watch many films from across the world. As a writer and a poet, I have always been inspired by those films and documentaries, only to write many poems that I perhaps could not have written if I didn't have the opportunity to watch them. Cinema is comparatively a new art form that has given us the ability to explore the world in a way that was not possible before through any other medium of art. Film has now become a part of our everyday life. We can't imagine a day go by when we haven't watched some kind of film, whether that is in a form of television, motion picture, or video that we frequently encounter on social media sites and other digital platforms. Cinema is capable of transporting us into a world where we physically don't belong, yet giving us the opportunity to experience the lives of others and their surroundings on a one-on-one basis. When we watch a film, there is no one between us and cinema to tell us how should we react to a story that shows real life of people in a world we can't have access to. We can relate to the story and characters directly, feel the emotions involved, react to the situations in them as we normally do in our day-to-day lives when we see the real things happening in person. This experience is almost real and capable of bringing out emotions, stimulating our thoughts to inspire us as a writer or a poet to write a piece of prose or poetry. There are many techniques used in creative writing, but the technique of cinema has not been formally introduced in a curriculum of any college or university yet. You may ask, what is the need for us to use this technique in creative writing after all? The answer is, there is absolutely no obligation for one to use this technique if other techniques are sufficient enough. But when it comes to experience any universal phenomena, such as learning about a global crisis or a movement, and the lives of people on other side of the world, what options do we have other than reading books, newspapers, and watching television that sometimes aren't able to show all what we want to see and learn from? Though a film or a documentary is very capable of showing much more without any censorship. For example, to tell a story of Holocaust, what Steven Spielberg can show in Schindler's List perhaps cannot be shown on any other media without a censorship. Or the same story cannot be told that effectively in an article published in a newspaper or a story written in a book. To give another example, if a country is in a state of war, it isn't possible for all of us to be in a war zone, to see the devastations and experience the tragedies that takes place in a battlefield, unless they are shared and told to us by the media or someone else. That information itself is not sufficient enough to learn and know how it is like to be a victim of war and how it impacts the mankind. Though, watching an actual documentation of a war in a film can give us an unobstructed view of the tragedies involved. We do not have to be a war journalist or a war victim to experience how one can be impacted by that. Films and documentaries are very capable of providing us an insight into a world where we stand in our imaginations as a writer or a poet to feel and express ourselves in prose or poetry, same as others do who are actually there. There is no other art form as effective as cinema, because when all other art forms come together, that becomes the art of cinema. And we must use this powerful medium to tell our stories and the stories of others in a way it has never been told before. This workshop is not about putting writers and poets in an incubator and hatching poetry and prose. It is not about putting them in an environment that commands and prompts the writers to write things in a certain way, following a strict guideline. Instead, it provides flexibility and freedom for anyone to relate to the stories in which we may see our own reflections, or take persona of a character or subject to analyze and explore the world from others' perspectives, or just be a neutral observer and write from our own standpoint without being guided by any theory and techniques suggested by the workshop. The goal of the workshop is to bring literature and art of cinema together. Let the writers and poets interact with actors and filmmakers to explore all possibilities known and unknown, and have one more good reason for all of us to come together to celebrate our visions. Thank you all for joining us.
I hear the 15th bone snap, a razor stem piercing my mottled skin. The hooded men retire for evening prayer.
It's cold. I've no letters, no photographs. I lie crumpled, torn, and tossed aside, disfigured, coagulating, bloated, shattered, and lifeless. Any tears I shed have long calcified, eyes and ears brutally augured by the worn-out instruments of the state. Like a hopeful toy bird sold in the streets of Istanbul, these broken wings shall not again purchase flight. My sudden misfortune renders me an unromantic, unattended, threadbare bag of dried lemons. My God, my passport, my love for home cooking expired. I could not sign the papers. I could not sign. This is my home. I could not sign. My American love, I recall the fluid rhythm of your voice as I prepared the Koresht. Southern winds off the Caspian Sea ignite the mint and the parsley. You relished my Persian stew, artful conversation, laughter, embraces. They were heaped in bursting abundance. Certainly all of humanity was united, certainly. Back then I gave you my heart, and now we are worlds apart. The mosque is known as the Tower of Silence. Gazing skyward, I recall honeydew sun rays, ever sharpening a galaxy of vivid mosaic tiles. We teetered there, we balanced in there. Sober yet drunk in there. Dizzy, alert, agile, clumsy, we shimmered like dancing supernovas. Into the fire, where east and west collide. So gracefully, yet still we hide.
My love, I beg you listen. In the West, your walls are built to keep life force out. They sufficiently insulate the confluence of kindness and kingdoms. I am of the East. It's confounding, it's curious. I see a different type of wall, a seamless monument built brick by brick, fully grouted with love, with frequent breaks for wine and our affection. Though I may quarrel in Farsi and fuss about your thrift store attire, I will love you forever, though forever you must go home. If I become blind, it is but one brick removed. If I become deaf, then only one more. If I become crippled and confined, then still the wall is a crimson ribbon. This crimson ribbon is 35 years long. The foundation is embedded strong. As it is with man, so with communities. As it is with leaf, so it is with trees. As it is with another brick, so with the walls. As it is with bones, so with body, heart, and my soul.
He was the sweet one. Friday he was here with me, gone Saturday, she weeps before the day was done. Grasshopper hunter, fisher child, her youngest one, who sleeps beneath the earth, first buried, last of three. He bundled sticks for her beneath the rubber tree, and brought a remnant balm from fields where cattle run, and failed to wake or answer when she wailed, "My son!" The smoke's confused pollution poisoned her plea. No more a chief's great woman, but a grave's new wife. She, fresh fatality from archaic war, which knows no borders, never ends, and needs a fence. Grieves on, an innocent and proliferate life, for nothing ever will, nor ever can restore what devastation takes through dying innocence. Thank you.
I've paid my debt to society, so they say. Now a free man, but I'm not so sure. When I hit baseballs for a living, the colors I hated were red, green, and especially pinstripes of the other team. If we were teammates, sure we fought, but as brothers, not as others. And some, when traded, were still brothers for life. It was in prison where I learned to hate a man for the color of his skin. All our uniforms were the same, but right or wrong, separation was the way to survive. I played the game in prison, but never bought into the rules. An ugly time, worse than imagined. Dignity, never had to use or think about the word until I was inside. Then, to keep some of it, it endangered my life. Worth it, I guess. And now I'm considered free. Strange term. For me, it only applied before lock and key. Still paying my debt, a high one, lasting. Taking a bat and using it wrongly, defending my team, my mates. After a few drinks, no one messed with us, black, white, or brown. I hardly remember which of us were there, black, white, or brown. It was a late night wrong I was going to make right. Never should have gone to the trunk of my car. But that's the past, a decade or two gone by. Who can remember? I'm a changed man, and not for the better. We were grown men playing a child's game, shunning others only for how they acted. But inside the prison bars, they played for keeps, no games. Gone are the days when only the color of their uniform mattered. I never should have gone to the trunk. I hope to know next life what a gift I had, seeing things from the inside out as a human and a ball player. Now aware, if I were raised by wolves, then humans would be a threat, even if I were one. They say I'm free now, but I don't feel free anymore.